Welcome to the party. It's your boy Mountain. We're back again for another day. Not Path of Exile. We're just thinking about Last Epoch today. Oh, and yes, I didn't make it. I didn't make it actually to what I needed to for Last Epoch. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and start looking at what we're planning on doing for Last Epoch. It's one of those things where it's we're going to go ahead and we're going to start looking at what we're going to be doing for our build for Last Epoch. So this is one of those things where I actually didn't realize they were going to shut down the server as early as they did. It's 15 hours away until it comes up until the game starts, which is going to be 10 a.m. tomorrow. So, but by doing the shutdown, they shut down the like I say, they shut down the game capabilities, so and everything. So that's one issue that we have. Let's see here. I gotta add some stuff that's not over here. There we go. That should give us back our music, so we should have music playing in the background a little bit. Wow, my dogs are being loud. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and break this down. What we're gonna have is we're gonna just go through, and I wanted to go through and adjust my filter to be a little bit better than what I had. I was on the other day and I was doing adjustments and stuff like that to kind of help me through the campaign. And I realized that this morning, I was like, okay, well, hopefully today I'll be able to get on. I'll finish getting the filter corrected. I wanted to try to get another run. I wanted to get a practice at Aberoth. That's what I wanted to do, but I didn't have time. So I worked late yesterday. I worked until midnight, which pretty much threw everything out the window. So there was no way for me to be able to play, to be able to, do what I needed to do. But either way it goes, let's go ahead and start looking at some of this similar stuff. Now, we already understand that inside of Last Epoch, you have different things that you have to deal with and everything. So the first thing I want to discuss is we're going to go ahead and we're going to go through the so when we look at the skills are as you can see, they all pop up and everything like that, and they will pop up depending upon your class. Now, the thing that we are very happy about is that they made modifications to Sentinel. Okay, so they made modifications to Sentinel that's going to make Sentinel even better. I like the Void Knight, and that's what I'm planning on running this time. Is I'm going to be running Void Knight, and then that provides different skills. The skills that we will be running with Void Knight will be Warpath, Smite, Devouring Orb, Rebuke, and there's another one, but I just don't remember. So let's go ahead and pull this out. We're going to go Warpath. The second one, we want to have Rebuke, and it's not going to pop up until we start putting points in. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the first thing we got to do is pop in the passives. Now, with this one, I'll go ahead and explain what we're going to do. We go ahead and we pop 8 points into Vitality and increased regen. That will keep us alive, keep us moving, keep us motivated to be able to do things. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to do fire resistance and strength. After we get to fire resistance and strength, there is points that we will be putting in place, which is this one. We put in points all the way up to 5 on this, and the reason why we do that, this will give us a 10% damage taken from the enemies is 10% less than what it normally is. So this works out really wonderful, lowering the amount of damage that we're actually taking. Now, there are certain things that we can do and would help us, but I'm gonna go ahead and go through these different ones that we have that we have. So we got 5 more points that we're gonna get until we get to Smite. Now, If you notice, none of these, so the way that we're running, we're not going to be running, and we're not going to be using, we're not going to be using pretty much any shields or anything like that. So block effectiveness is kind of going to be a little bit on the low end side of what we need. So we have this, which is less damage taken. This one is, guess what? Movement skills, and movement skills are any skills that have the movement tag. Adding and removing the movement tag through the skill tree will change its compatibility with this node. This node says increase cooldown recovery speed for movement skills. So it's cooldown recovery, but it also gives you hit points. This one gives you stun recover immunity, increased stun immunity duration by 100% if you put 5 points in. We need 5 points no matter what. This gives us, if we put 5 more points in there, we'll take this to 7, but it will give us resistances, while this one gives us melee and more melee damage and everything. We're not really going to be looking for that, but we're going to go ahead and grab this, and that should take us right there. We got 28% fire resistance, 28% void resistance. That's good, gives us the resistances that we need. We're going to pop into void now. And when we pop into void, there are certain things that we need to take into account. And the things that we're going to be taking into account is like I said, where you got this, it gives you void stuff. Void and physical damage taken is reduced when you get 5 points into this one. That's abyssal endurance. I like abyssal endurance, but it's not what we're going to be utilizing to keep ourselves alive while we're playing or when we're running. So at this point, by the time we get to smite and everything, we get smite in place, what's going to happen is we have this skills, the skill we're going to have on the is going to be warpath there. The first skill that we're going to be is going to be rebuke. The second skill that we're going to be having is not open yet, so we're going to go back to passives. We're going to go back to void knight. Now let me just go ahead and call it out. That's what we're going to do. We're going to drop 5 points into increase in 10 points into this one, which is devouring blade. And what that does is we get double the effect on recent for recent kills. So instead of leeching 1%, we'll be releeching 2%. Increased damage will be by 100% on recent kills. So when we have a recent kill, it will increase our thing. It does not help us for long term. In other words, a long battle against a boss, this is not very effective, but it is a wonderful thing to have. The next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing this, which is we're going to take all 6 points into that. What that does is it increases our leech rate by 20%. It also gives 3% melee damage leech and 3% void damage leech. Okay, so we're going to have a total of, and since what we're going to be doing is warpath, and we're going to be using warpath, we're going to be doing void damage, and we're going to be doing melee damage. So until we get to a certain point. Let me go ahead and let's go back over the skills and let's show you what I'm talking about. All right, so the first thing we're going to do with void is we're going to take this all the way up to 5. Okay, and we're going to take this up to 5 for one specific reason, and that is we get that 10 channel reduction. Now we can do 8 as long as you have mana regen built into 2 pieces of your gear. Put mana regen on 2 pieces of your gear and you don't even have to worry about it. So this one will give warpath deals additional melee void damage. Okay, melee void damage increase. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take 2 points into here. Then after we get 2 points into there, we go right here for the for echo. We go straight here for the abyssal whirl, which is going to give us time rot. And if you notice, it says bleed and ignite equals time rot chance. So the more bleed and the more ignite chance we have, the better it is going to be for us for being able to do ignite damage, etc. So then after that, you want to go ahead and you want to get this. Okay, and what that does is that's going to give us a little bit more time rot. Okay, and after we go here, boom, 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 and we get this, what I like to do is either do one or two things depending upon how the game is feeling. You can actually do more more damage per time rot that you have, which is actually pretty good. But normally I'd usually go to 1 and then I move over to this side. Okay, and the reason why is because by the time you've done and you've got this many points in there, you can go ahead and do this. And so you have 100% chance, smite chance each second. So smite will go ahead and go in 100% of the time. And your last 2 points go here. Okay, so what that does is, if you notice right here, you get bleed is equal to ignite chance, etc. This one is, hey, guess what? You get some bleed chance, which means it's time rot chance. Over here we have 30% plus this equals 40, gives us 40% chance of time rot. There are things that we can do to better enhance things at the 20 point level, but you want to make sure you get 100% chance here. Now, this is where it can be kind of tricky and everything. You can get yourself above 20 here, okay? So if you get yourself above 20, and you see I only put 4 points in here. If you get yourself above 20, what you want to do is you want to stack more here. This is, you're just trying to get into this, okay? This is very important. And the reason why it's very important is because we're going to be running a time rot build, okay? And some people go, well, why don't you use abyssal echoes? Because abyssal echoes will run you out of mana. It will run you out of mana faster than you can. Trust me, it will run you out of mana. It says every 5 seconds. If you put this in place and you're actually doing it, what happens is you will burn your mana, even though you're doing nothing with your nothing with Warpath. Warpath will be completely, you know, all 5, you can put all 5 points in here and everything, and do reductions and everything that you channel reductions and everything. And hey, what's up, Julian? And you could put all points in there, and what happens is you will burn through all of your mana with this in place. You can offset it, but be very careful if you decide that you're going to put any points in here. So if this is what I would do if I had 20 points. You look like Mike Tyson. That's funny, man. That's funny. But yeah, so that's the first thing I would do is I had 20 points I'd put in here. If I'm going to be doing any extra points, like I get an extra level for Warpath, 1 or 2 levels for Warpath, I would put those points here. And the reason why is because you put those points here, you take yourself up to 30% bleed. And what did we have here? Bleed equals time rot. So how is my stream going? It's going pretty good. It's going pretty good. I'm running into, I actually wanted to get a little bit extra. I wanted to get a couple of more things done before they shut the game down, and I just didn't have time. What I wanted to do, yeah, I just started the stream. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to get into the game, adjust my filter a little bit, make it tighter than what it is, so that my filter is a little bit better than what I have set. It's just I couldn't get in before they shut the game down for that. This one, what we're gonna, like I said, the second one's gonna be Rebuke. And then what you want to do with the Rebuke is you want to go ahead and grab here, get those two, grab here to get more void damage, and then grab that essence. That is bare minimum. of what you want to be able to do. Now, what I like to do also is I like to do this. All right. And the reason why I like to do that is because one of the things that we had seen earlier is when we look at skills and we look at that, so it's your main game for streaming and play other games as well. I play other games. I play a lot of different games. Bleed and ignite chance. Oh, so back to what I was getting ready to say. Let me show you what reason why I do that other one. Bleed and ignite chance from all sources are converted to time rot chance for Warpath from all sources. So if I go back over to here and I have this, which is while I'm channeling this, I can get more increased bleed and ignite chance. So you can actually channel, get a little bit higher bleed time rot. If you're doing it at the exact same time, you get a little higher time rot. One of the things here is your ailment durations and stuff like that go up. I don't go that route. Usually what I do is I usually go over here, and I also did you complete the Elden Ring DLC first? Elden Ring? No, I didn't. I didn't do that. I didn't do that one. So while I'm doing, so I get a good 200% mana regen by running this. This is actually a great thing. That's a health regen, and then these are if you want to take down a little bit less elemental damage taken this and stuff, or you want to have less physical damage, you do one of these two. And so when I'm running this version and I'm running this, those are some things that I look at. Then you also do these three, and the reason why you do these three is that cooldown recovery from recovery attacks. You get more cooldown recovery number of times. Reboot is effective doubled while using two-handed weapons. We're using two-handed weapons. So you're a comic book publisher? No, sir. I am not a comic book publisher. Where did I put comic book publisher? Okay, so no comic book publishing around here, sir. None whatsoever. So depending upon what your gear is, you can actually go with the elemental damage taken is reduced. You can get it reduced by 40, and the buff persists after channeling. This is a must. This is a must right here. Buff is reduced after channeling is a must. So which theme do you like the most on your channel? I don't know what you mean by that. I just like do this for a hobby and just kind of do this on the side. I'm not a big time streamer. I don't care about being a big time streamer. I'm all about just enjoying myself and communicating with my friends and stuff like that. Most of them are probably asleep and getting ready for their days and everything, because we're about to release a new version. So you could split this and put a little points over here to increase your armor, but I like to do the damage. Elemental damage taken is reduced by 60%. I like to do that. The reason why is because if reducing damage to me is huge, it means that we can go ahead and we can take a couple of hits. Now, like I said, this is an actual good thing. I was getting ready to go talk about that, which is The buffs are you are granted via augmented plating via brave the elements nodes now persist after you first finish channeling a rebuke. The duration. Hey, what's up? How's it going, Sheepish? How's it going? I'm just trying to get myself ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Just so everybody knows, 10 a.m. tomorrow is the release of Last Epoch. So I will be on before then. It's probably going to be around about 9 o'clock in the morning, and I will be playing, and we will be running through that. Now persist after you finish channeling rebuke. The duration is equal to half the duration of your channeled rebuke. So in other words, what they mean is when I channel the full 2 seconds, I will get brave elements for another second after it. There are ways to increase that by doing the duration increases and getting a duration increase. You get a cooldown reduction, which is also another thing you could do, which is you can pull this. You can do, where is it? There is something out this one. Do this and do this. That gives me a 15% increase. You can do extra points, and the extra points you do is going to be inside of Infinite Guardian, and it's going to be in here. Now this will slow down the ability for you to be able to channel that spell. I don't like doing that as much. I like doing this one, and then I like, taking in and doing this point here. You could also say, hey, let's not even just go this route on this side and try to do things like here. You get haste at the end of your end, which is going to increase your and do this now, and then you would do extra points. Your extra points would go here, and what that does is that it means that when you end, you can get 30% increased buff ratio. So in other words, I hold it for 2 seconds, I get it for 1 second for the buff. After that, instead of 1 second, I get it for 1.3 seconds or 1.6 seconds, something around. It's around. In other words, you get like a pretty longer period of time to have this negative 60% damage that you're going to be able to get. Let's go ahead and look at this other skills that we're looking at. The other skill, or the third skill that we want to be able to put in place, is you want to go ahead and you want to put that devouring orb in place. That is one of the greatest spells. It does a lot of good damage. And you're able to, it does a lot of good damage, and you're able to do a lot of things with it. So first and foremost, what we do is we're going to be looking for time. So if you noticed over here, we have time rot. Okay, so this is a very good thing. Now the first points you want to put in is we want to put here, devouring orb orbits you. You want to put this in. And what the reason why is auto cast while moving. So as long as you're moving, it's going to make the bubbles. Okay. Now this is very important when we create and do our belts. And the belts that you're going to do, the first thing you want to do is you want to do cool. Increase cooldown recovery. That is a must on your belt. So whatever belt you choose must have this suffix, or you must put this suffix in place. And you'll understand the reason why you'll understand it just a bit. And the reason why is because if you do cooldowns, it means more orbs you will cast more orbs. So it's always going to be on cooldown, but your cast speed, which is one of the things I gotta kind of think about when we do this. Right, hold up, not that. When we go in here and we look at this, and it says, while you are moving, you will automatically cast Devouring Orb if it is not on cooldown and you have enough mana. So when it's not on cooldown, the effects puts it on cooldown. So your cooldown matters. So if it's not on cooldown, you get an orb. So just like you would do it normally. What I mean by normally is just like you would do it when you were running it and you were putting it and tying it to numlock. One of the things that you would do when you tie it to numlock is you do that and you get your cooldown as low as possible. And when you get your cooldown as low as possible, more orbs are orbiting you. You have way more orbs orbiting you. And it's going to be the same way on the auto. So you're going to want the auto to constantly throw those things out and put in an orb. So this is the impact damage it does, which is 80, which is really good. And man, these dogs, boy, let me see here. I really have a problem with my dogs today. They're just barking. See, every so often they bark so loud, it's just I don't understand it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put the 2 points in here for void penetration, and also this includes void rifts and subs things. So then we're gonna go ahead and get the time rot. We definitely want time rot chance per second, 100%. This is really good. Plus you get an increase in duration for time rot. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do this one, which is devouring orbs gain more radius each second, and you're gonna do that until you get to this. And the reason why you're gonna be getting to this is damage over time. Your hit damage will go down per orb, but the damage over time is going to increase. Now you could just go that route, or you could go ahead and like right here. Void rifts hits deal damage multiplicative to time rotting enemies. So anything that's time rotting, you're going to do more damage against. Now, if you do that one, or if you're going to do that one, you go ahead and you make sure you get that void penetration there. This one is something that you need to have. The rate at which void rifts hit damage in areas increments with it when a nearby enemy dies is increased. So you grab this and then you do these. Okay. Now what that will do is that gives you 4 hits to time rotting enemies. Now what did we say we're going to be doing? We're going to be time rotting off of this. See, got time rot. We're going to be going and we're going to get the extra chance to time rot here, and we're going to be time rotting. We're going to be time rotting the enemy. Now, ooh, I did that in the wrong order. This one should be respect. Let's go ahead and respect that out. First one should be this one. And you put in points here, put in points there, and then you're going to put in a point here, which is void conversion. Now what this does is, what we're doing here is we're actually getting double the cast chance. So it's going to cast more times. You get 30% chance to do that. And then what you do is you do here, which is you're going to get 250% more damage per smite. And then you're going to be going and you're going to convert it all to void damage. And then after that, what you're going to do is you're going to make sure you do that. Sacrifice health cost is going to be less. So we sacrifice health consumed is going to be 15% of your current health. Whatever your current health is, that's 15% it's going to sacrifice. Well, this sacrifice health cost is going to go down by 100%. After that, there is a couple of things that you do, which is here, and don't want this one when you directly cast smite, because in everything, but the fissures are the very very good You can use the fissures and you can use fissures and everything. So there's no real time rot on this one, but you can see that we do have a void conversion, and you want to make sure that void conversion is there. So what I like to do is I like to get this. Fissures can be triggered more frequently, and this one is directly. Oh, never mind, they changed that. Oh, okay. Since we're not directly casting, you can just pull those out. Your best bet is to just spend the points over here, what you can do is you can just spend the points over here and just increase the crit chance or increase your crit multiplier. Personally, I just do crit chance because you're not going to really do a lot of crit multiplier. You could do other things with it, and because you can't heal, so that's not going to help you because you're a void knight. You could try the blind chance and then go ahead and try to get electrify into the mix, as you can get a little electrify. But personally, I just go ahead and go get this. This will get you the most damage output. You can then just throw 50 points in the multiplier. Boom, you completed it. That's when you do the void. You do this, you do that. You make sure your collision damage is as high as possible. You do that. And that, so what this does is you still have 5 points which you can use in other locations, but this is really important for this because you get the void penetration, you get when things die, it's going to incrementally increase your damage. This also is very important because when you are time rot or you hit somebody with time rot, guess what? They are going to get extra damage. The other ones are here. So your time rot chance here is something that you can have. Now, one other thing is this is for increased damages. This one will reduce your hit damage. And what you can do is you can say, hey, I want more time rot. I want more time rot. I want more time rot. Okay. And the radius, devouring orbs, more radius each second up to a maximum. This is, and it just doesn't really, I mean, I understand what it does, but not really that big of a deal. So this is usually how I usually run things. Well, I usually don't do these. This is all kind of new here, but this is what I'm planning on doing. Is I'm planning on running this route, and this collision damage going up by 80% is good. I would love to take it higher, but what I want to do is make sure that I have things in place that are going to make time rot better. Time rot better is more important than any of the other modifications that you can have. So time rot per second, time rot chance per second is 100%. So what this does is devouring orbs last longer, and it has a chance to inflict time rot on enemies each second inside its area of effect. The chance also applies to hits from its sub skills. So this devouring orb will cause time rot to happen from Void Rift or from any other ones. This to me is a lot higher, a lot better thing, because you, like I said, you want to stack up that time rot on people, and you want to stack time rot up as much as you can, or get time rot to pop up as much as you can. So that takes care of my basically what I want to have is you want to have that. You want to have Now, what I do is I do use lunge, but I don't use lunge the way that everybody else does. Where is it? Void, Devouring Orb. Last one's going to be Abyssal. And I don't think I went too far in the passive to get it. This is the, oh, I'm sorry, the Anomaly. So after you get here in the, I'm leeching, I'm getting all the leech that I can. You want to go ahead and what you want to look for is this. There are vitality nodes, and you need to make sure you get vitality nodes. You must get my vitality nodes. So, Smite scale attunement turns to vitality. Smite void spell damage per vitality. So you want vitality as high as possible. As high as possible. So first thing we want to do is, and we're going to leech. We want these 5 right there. So what we did was we increased our leech capability right there. So we got leech ratio rate just went up as well. Then we're going to go right here and we increased the leech rate by 50% again, and we give more health leech. Okay. So this is a very big one. Void damage over time. We want to make sure we get that void damage over time. Then we want to make sure we get all of the vitality nodes that we can. So this one is vitality here. Devouring Orb creates void rifts on cast. And also, if you notice, increase cooldown recovery speed. You remember I was sitting there, you got to get a belt with the highest cooldown recovery speed. You're also going to get cooldown recovery speed from within this. So what that does is that means Devouring Orb is going to kick off a lot more, a lot faster, a lot faster. Now, where this will come to be a problem, or could come to be a problem, is if you do not have enough mana regen. If you do not have enough mana regen, you will eat through most of your mana. And trust me, I know about that. You can do so. This one, increase the cast speed, and you have a chance to cast Void Beam at a target when you directly cast Smite. We're not going to be directly casting Smite, but this Smite scaling for 5 points is very important. Okay. The effects can occur 2 times per second. This effect can cast 2 times per second, right? You can put the 5 points in here, which you're doing it not because you're going to cast void beams, but you're doing it so you can get that vitality bonus to Smite, that vitality bonus to void spell damage. That's all you're doing it for. You're not doing it for anything else. Just getting those particular things. Smite is going to get Smite's going to get an increase from vitality if you put those 5 points in. Now, you could also do this. Take those to get to here because you want this no matter what. That's 10 vitality there. Health per vitality, you get +2. Per vitality is +2. Okay, so you're going to get a lot more health just by having this. Next thing you're going to look for is time, because you got time rot stuff in here. So this is going to give you time rot duration. This one, like I said, it's 5 points. This one, your hits have a chance to inflict enemies with time rot. Additionally, time rot deals more damage per 1% global chance to slow you with void spells, per more damage per global 1% global time rot chance with a void skill, and more damage per increased melee. So this is a crucial one. It's crazy good. More void damage. This is a reduction as well. This reduces damage taken from things that are time rotted, and you will time rot. So you're gonna burn a lot of your points. Don't get me wrong. In the void tree, and like this one, this is an echo chance. You want this one. You want this one. That gives you a lot more echo chance. That gives you echo chance. So right now we burnt almost all of our points in the void tree. So we have better echo chance. This one gives us increased melee and throw attack speed, and we get another 10% echo chance. So we got echo. This one also gives us another echo chance. So we got a 30% echo chance capability. And time rot will happen off of an echoed skill. That's actually pretty good too. So this is the reason why we're going to be doing that. Okay, this takes us, and like I said, it takes us and pretty much puts us in a pretty good position. Now, what you can do also is from here, there is some other things that we can do. So where is it? Is it under here or under Paladin? It's under here. There is something we can do from one of these. I forgot which one. Is it Vitality? Resist. I think this is the one, but I'm not sure. It's like you're only going to put some points into another one, and it's not a lot of points. All you're trying to do is increase the healing effectiveness, increases the health restored by healing skills only. Okay, so this we're gonna do anomaly, and we're gonna go ahead and let's just go ahead and put the skill anomaly in place because that's what we need. And we're gonna go ahead and put points into this. So time, as you can see, we got time. There is a one where it's goes right around you, and I forgot where it is. Is this it? Leaves behind a time bubble. There. Okay. So here, and there. That's the facet that you want to get to this one as fast as possible. And what that does is you will go ahead and this gives you a time rot chance on return. So anything that goes in and out of the system. So in other words, anomaly, what it does is anything around you is going to automatically disappear, and then it'll come back. And when it comes back, it's going to automatically have time rot on it. What we want to do is we want to go ahead and do this. So as soon as we pop it, it's going to automatically give time rot to anything within its range. All right. So time rot, bubble duration, we want that to be as large as possible. So we want to make sure that we do this, which is here, time rot duration. And this one here, when enemies return to the present, they take increased void damage for duration. So they will automatically take for 5 seconds, they will automatically take increased damage. The increased damage that they will be taking is 50%. It's just automatic, but it's going to be for 5 seconds. So that's going to be so that gives us a very good time rot configuration, so we can do time rot. Now what you can do then is any other points goes to here, which is the area. This will increase areas. So any increases to void skills, things like that, you want to put points into this so that you have a bigger time bubble. So this would be what we're going to be doing for anomaly. Now you're going to kick off anomaly as often as you possibly can. And the reason why you're kicking it off as often as you possibly can is because you want the time, you want to, so while you're spinning around, you kick it on, it's going to go around you, and anything around you is going to take 50% more damage for at least 5 seconds. That is huge in the long term. So this is the powers that we're going to be using. We're going to be using this, and all those. Now the skills, like I said, smite is just going to automatically kick off. Okay. And so you could do that so that you could have smite on the thing so you can actually cast it manually. But last time it used to be you didn't have to do that. You could actually just take this and put it in the background, because you're not going to cast it manually. You're just going to let the system cast it automatically for you, and you're just going to do this. The reason why I use lunge is a very good move speed. It's a very good move thing. You can be rolling around, spinning around, and just automatically sweep forward and hit other things. Now, if you're looking, and we're going to be looking at this, what you're going to be doing is you're going to look for certain things that you want to increase. Right here is going to be interesting. You got melee and spell void damage. You want to try to get this up as high as possible. So you want to get more void damage and more void damage that way. Then one other thing that you want to do is here, time rot. You see, with everything that we have for time rot, we have 110% chance for time rot with melee attacks. We have 110% time rot with spell attacks. And we also have time rot damage. So time rot damage is 456 time rot damage, and the duration, increased duration for time rot is only about 25%. That I think is where it's going to be very interesting to get things to work. Now, I do believe if we go here and we go to resources, go to skills, close that, we're going to type in time rot. Excuse me. Wow, that seriously messes with people. Okay, so let's go there, and we're gonna be looking for there. Hold up, where is it? The warpath. Where is it? No, that's smite. Where is the time rot? Time rot is not an actual skill. Skill. It's more of a side thing. And what we're looking for is, there's a way to see time rot. So it's time lock here. So let's just go back up here and let's just go ahead and look. So we want to look for devouring orb. There we go. That's what it was. Oh my gosh, took me a while to figure that out. Void Rift. No. So we want to go anomaly. That's time bubbles. Time wave. Time rot. Okay, so this is what we got to remember right here. You can get up to 12 stacks of time rot. Okay, so with 12 stacks of time rot, that is going to be 456 is what we had. 456 times 12. Calculator. That's 5,000 points of damage from time rot alone. This is just basically based off of what we're talking about. Is we're talking about base damage off of just the build itself, saying, hey, guess what? When we use time, when time rot hits, time rot is going to do that much damage. So time rot basically does this much damage. 60 base, 40%, 48% increase from Patent of Doom. Devouring Blade gives 50%. Void Knight passive trees giving 20%. And then Void Knight passive tree is giving 20% more damage. So that is how it takes that 60 and increases it. Now, how do we increase the damage for time rot is going to be one of those things that we're going to have to work on. And you could do that different ways. So we have everything that we can do for time rot in here. There's nothing we can do for here. This is just time things. This is what I'm saying is we have pretty much everything we can from the base tree, from the trees. We have everything we can from the tree. Okay. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna have to look at skills and see what we can do to get time rot to be better. So is there anything else that we can do to make time rot better? We've got here, we got time rot here. So that covers all that. So there's nothing we can do. Nothing here. Anything in here? Nope, nothing there. This is nothing. And then here we got this for the time. This is going to cause time rot to be better. That's it. That's all we have. There's nothing we can do unless we go with increased void damage from our gear pieces and from our idols. So in all actuality, that is it for our skills. That is it for our passive tree. We're going to be putting 77 points inside of here. Now, this is where the 16 points that we're going to be using, or we're going to have to use somewhere. So we can do this, which is going to give us a total of 24 points of elemental resistance, which is a great thing. And then we can go ahead and we can add in increase healing effectiveness. Because these things are not going to actually do anything. But the paladin, I think that's where it was. The paladin tree gives us increased endurance, increased healing effectiveness, and increased health. Plus you get the I'm sorry, you can't love this game, man. I love this game. It's an awesome game. I'm sorry if you don't like it. Oh, that's just terrible, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. You're gonna be seeing me play this game. You're gonna see me play this game. Add to my bills list. Find me the perfect build, Mal. The most fun I had with this game was with the level unique was like a mace that did essence drain contagion. It just depends. I mean, there are ways to make this game even better. Just depends on how you're looking at it. Me, I'm looking at playing Warpath, which is like a cyclone build for a sentinel. It depends on what you're trying to do. What exactly are you trying to do? What are you trying to achieve playing Last Epoch? I can help you find somebody who make a great build for you, or I can help you make a great build. I just need to know exactly what you're trying to achieve. I know I shouldn't take that stuff from him, but as few buttons as possible. Yeah, then that's what I'm doing. As few buttons as possible right here. Warpath, I circle around and hit things. And while I'm circling, Smite comes down and Smite auto cast, and it will auto cast on constantly. And while I'm moving, because I am moving, while I'm using Warpath, I am moving. They just made the awesome modification to the Devour skill, which is right here. Auto cast while moving. You don't have to lock anything or anything like that. It will automatically cast. So I'm automatically casting Devour. I'm automatically casting Smite. Have 100%, 110% chance to time rot using melee attacks or spells. And so with that being said, you can time rot up to 12 times. You can get time rot, and time rot damage could be right now basically from the tree by itself and a base 60 damage for time rot. I do 5,000 points of damage. Can do about 5,000 points of damage a second. That's actually pretty good, but it's not good enough. I got to get gear pieces in place and things here. The idols. I got to get those idols in place. That's going to make my time rot even stronger. And so when I get time rot as strong as I need, all I need to do is just hold down the right mouse button, spin around, and just kill things. And when I use Smite will automatically heal. Me hitting things will automatically heal me, and Devouring Orb will automatically heal me. I'm going to have 3 separate sources of leech to leech back health. It works. I tried, I ran into, yesterday I had to work till midnight, so I didn't have a chance to do it yesterday, but I did actually run this build, and I was able to take a lot of damage without really trying, without really dying or anything like that. And so that was really good. I enjoyed that. That really made my day, actually, is what it happened. So as you can see, I get 5% for melee damage, 5% leech, and I got 2% leech for spell damage. And my leech rate, of course, is the max I can have it, which is 50 and 20%. Okay. So that's the leech rate that I'm able to pull. So it's actually pretty good. And what I need to do, and I won't deny what I need to do, is I need to figure out if I'm going to be using what two-handed weapon am I going to be using. Am I going to be using a two-handed sword, or am I going to be using a two-handed axe, or I'm going to be using a two-handed mace? Am I going to use a two-handed spear or a two-handed staff? Now, cool things about two-handed staffs, let's just go ahead and call these out. A two-handed staff, you can get increased spell damage on your staffs. So what I would do is I would want to get rid of that, look for a two-handed staff, and then look for any two-handed staff, if they have any, that have void damage as well. Because if I can get increased spell damage and increased void damage on a two-handed staff, that would be awesome. Or this right there, increased damage over time, actually would come in handy. But what I really want to look for is something that would, there you go. Mana cost of void spells. That's actually getting increased there. Reduce cost casting spells. Increase void spell damage by 200 to 300%. 50 to 100% of damage reflected. Increase void cast speed. Oh yeah, this is actually a pretty nice one. Omni Vestance. That's actually a really good one. I don't like using a lot of buttons either, Gankenstein. So I try to do as much as I can without using weapon, without doing thing. So this is actually a really good weapon. I like this. I like this weapon. If I do that, oh come on! I wanted Omni. So how do I get this equipped? So I hit save. That it? Yeah, there you go. So now with that, let's see what kind of damage did I get out of that. Okay, time rot doesn't go to any increase. That's just terrible. Time rot doesn't get any increase. That's a sad situation. But it will give me void increase here, void increase there, and void increase there. So I could increase my spells. My void spells should go up in damage. Hold up. If that's the case, then that means that means my spell should actually have gone up. Does it show that spell? It doesn't show that spell. Oh well, that's okay. And so this is where you would go through and you gotta figure out what you want. Now there are helmet types that I like, and you use those. And that's one of them. And then what you do is, where is it? Vitality. You want to add that. Yeah, prefix here. Uh-oh, did I press that? All right, you want to get rid of this, and on prefix 2 you want to go ahead and make sure that you get something good. And so we have 100% chance already, so we don't really need to increase this, but that's something that you could always look at. Chance to inflict time right on void. Ooh, that would be beautiful. You can do the channel cost, which, you know, we don't need, but we can do increased echo damage with skills. This is a great thing. We'll go ahead and look through and just make sure that we don't have anything else, but that is a great thing for this is for spell echo. We could pull that off. Let's pull spell echo off, and what we can do is we can go with increased void damage like that. Or we could do this. That's a good one. So we can level anomaly, a level of a devouring orb. Devouring orb is the one we're going to level, because as long as you increase the level of devouring orb, you can do more things with it, right? So let's go ahead and look at devouring orb, or increase the that. So let's go ahead and prefix 2 is going to be vitality, and then we're going to do increased devouring orb. So let's just go ahead and do that. There we go. We're going to increase by the devouring orb. That's actually capable. Now, there's a lot of people don't realize, but inside of this game, you can actually get 2 T7s. We didn't even look at suffixes. Now, the suffixes are always good things like resistances. We can get the resistances, and that's what I normally do. Is I normally go for like resistances and health. So if we want something, we want to try to get health. Most likely it's going to be around about a T6 or a T5 health configuration. And then on suffix 2, we're going to go ahead and just get some type of resistance. One of the things you want to do is you want to get one of those, where is it? Or let me do this. You can pop out health here and get health regen per second. That actually helps out really good too. So it's about a 5. Then the suffix 2 is the one where you're going to go ahead and you're going to add in some type of resistance. What you want to do is there is something called crit avoidance. You can't get it on this particular piece, but let's just say we want to do that. Void resistance, because we're not going to be able to get the other ones. So then we save it. There you go. And so when we look at offensive and everything like that, look at this void damage. Spell void damage is already, we get 488 for void damage for spells, 242 for thing. I knew I couldn't find it earlier, but that's, the staff gave us another 200. Okay. And then if you look at the damage here, we're at 664, which is good. And you just kind of, and so what we're going to do is we're going to keep on adding certain things of what we're going to be looking for. Oh, and because we did devouring orb, and we have devouring orb with a +4, we go in here and we can add things to devouring orb. Now, you remember I was sitting there and I was saying, what are the things that we want to go ahead and we want to get? So this is actually giving devouring orb 400 point, an extra 200 points of collision damage. that actually gives a really good amount of damage for Devouring Orb. We could also go this route. Devouring Orbs now erupt at the end of its duration, creating a void eruption. Devouring Orbs has a shorter duration, but you get that increased configuration for that. Where is it? All right. Every 3 seconds, Devouring Orb releases an Abyssal Orb, a spell which seeks enemies and detonates, dealing void damage in an area. This is the one that I was looking for. So what you can do is you can go here to get this one. This one gives a global more void damage. Plus you get double with vitality of plus 90. So if you look, the vitality we have is only at 40. We need to get vitality as much as possible. That's why vitality is on this gear. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. I'm sorry. We need to go in here and look for vitality is a prefix. Yeah, I did. I put T7 vitality on there. What the heck was I thinking? So I'm sorry. I looked at the vitality on the helmet. The helmet I get has vitality on it, and then I put vitality as a T7 on it because you need to have vitality for this build. If you do not have vitality, you will not do very well in this build. So this gives us damage. This gives us, hey, guess what? We get they last longer, but the Devouring Orb void rifts no longer increase in size or damage for each successive rift, which is not a problem. We want that one right there. And then so this right here gives us the ability to kick off every 3 seconds a void orb, or orb you'll be casting, and then every so often one will fling off. It looks like one flings off and hits something. That's what this does. They did some changes to it because void rifts. One of the things that I was sitting there and I was talking about with void rifts, where was it? There. Damage increment when dies, area increment when enemy dies. When you do this one, void rifts no longer increase in size or damage for each successive rift. So that's not going to cause this. What's up, Harfang? How you doing? How you doing? We are actually just sitting in here trying to figure out what we're gonna do long term. Hey, it looks like somebody talked to me inside of my what you gonna call it? Inside of what's the other place? YouTube. There you go. Inside of YouTube. I wanted to say hello to him since he said something. Ellie is so much more fun than Pee Wee 2. Oh yeah, for sure. All right, so this is what this will do. The orb so the orb will come out. So we're gonna do this, which gives us increased double with vitality. So we're gonna get increased mana regen, increased global damage. This will mean that with the more rifts that are out there, they won't increase in damage, but we get to throw these abyssal orbs out, which if you do this and you put the points in here, every one that you do is an increase. So we get maximum abyssal orb frequency is plus 70%, minimum is 30%. So this is actually pretty good, and actually, like I said, that'll really do real nice. So that comes from the +4 levels to devouring orb. So let's just make sure that when we make it, we've got vitality, devouring orb. We want to make sure we got that. When we go for when we go for our necklace. Now, this is where the sets, if you start looking at the sets, I have questions on sets. Okay. See, a lot of the sets are like this. Okay. 3% more void damage per stack of time rot, 50% void penetration with time rot and everything, but it's a shield arm, let's see, it's a shield one-handed sword situation, and I don't like that. I really don't like that. So it doesn't really work out for me when I'm looking at that. Let's go there. There we go. Let's kill this one, because this one is definitely got opened because of. All right, now let's go here. Boom. So the sets and everything that I just and then if we go here, we go. Gives good void resistance. That's all it got. Let's go here. There's nothing in a set for void there. Nothing here. They just hate us void people. They just hate us. They hate us void people. They really hate us. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go from set back to basic, and we're gonna be looking for a specific thing on our necklaces. So like this one, sapphire. There we go. This is what we're looking for. We're looking for a sapphire amulet, and in that sapphire amulet, increased critical strike with increased spell critical strike chance. That's great, because that actually works with a smite, and that would actually work with anything else. We get +4 spell damage. We get a 10% chance to cast Void Rift on kills, and we get void resistance and lightning resistance. This is something that there's a chance that you can get it from the Chronomancer supplies. If you get the sapphire, you do that, and it's an okay. It's not like the greatest thing, but it is an okay thing to have early on. You want to go ahead and get something else later, because this won't last forever. Okay. And so when you go for where is it? It's this one. Bone amulet is a good one. This is a good one, which is the silver amulet. And last but not least is the brass amulet. So for me, I like to have the bone amulet. And the reason why I like to have the bone amulet is because of the implicits that the bone amulet gives. It's going to automatically give you, let me get rid of these. Let me go, there we go. You want the bone amulet because it's automatically going to give you physical and necrotic resistance. This works very well for long-term things. So after that, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking to increase your just pretty much increase your damage and everything like that. And so you're going to be doing like mana regen. You remember I was talking about mana regen. Mana regen is going to be something that you're going to be looking for on your pieces of gear. So you have to be very careful on making sure that you have like mana regen. So one of the things, like I said, where is it? Mana. Let me just type that in. Mana regeneration. You might not want to do that. You might want to go ahead and do it a 5 because that's pretty much what you're probably going to get. Then your suffixes are going to be one of those ones that suffixes are awesome on necklaces, and those can be very interesting. So you want to get as much health as possible. So that health there or health regen, you want health. You want the big health things on, and after you go with the big health, you want to go ahead and you want to get it, the other things that you want, which is we've already got physical, we already got necrotic, right? So you got physical, necrotic. We picked up a lot of resistances for other things inside of the tree, but the things that we don't have resistances for is we don't have resistances for like that. So let's save that. Now, if you look at our resistances, we got okay resistances, not that great. So our void resistances for the helmet and the amulet. Oh, that's the one so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get rid of that amulet void resistance. We don't want the void resistance. We want something like maybe the poison resistance. There we go. So that would so poison resistance is going to be just that one takes us to we're capped out. So let's go ahead and do this. We got vitality, so let's pull this off. Pull poison resistance off, physical resistance. Let's do lightning resistance at a 5. There we go. So, but we're going to continue to just kind of go through those. Now, this is one of those ones I like as well. Now, there are rings. There are rings that will increase cooldown recovery. And why do we want cooldown recovery? Increase cooldown recovery. We want increased cooldown recovery from either one of these. Okay. And the reason why is, now the vitality ring is good. The core rings give vitality, which is a great thing. And that actually helps out. So this is where that dual kind of figure out what you want to do. We know we have to have we know we have to get vitality above 90. So we know we need to get vitality above 90. So all of our gear, boots, gloves, everything we want to do, we got to make sure that we get vitality on it, because we want to make sure we get that 90 vitality. Now, if we look at the passive trees, that's the only place to get vitality. These, we picked up the vitality for all those locations except for this one, because this one is actually just converting the thing over to vitality. But we got vitality here, we got the 10 vitality there. There's no vitality and there's no vitality. So vitality, we picked up everything we could for vitality. So vitality that we get has to come from our gear. Has to come from our gear. So if we do a chest piece, we look at what we got to do is we got to look for those implicits, and we look for the implicits, because the implicits don't count against us. And is there any implicits that say vitality? So nope, no implicits that say vitality. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab what we look for. Hey, this is the one we want right there. We want apocalypse plates. And the reason why we want the apocalypse plates is because it increased echo damage when the skill is echoed. That's what we want. We want to be able to increase our echo damage. That's going to be great. Where is it? We want vitality. We're going to get that T7 vitality right there, right off the bat. We don't want anything else. We want the T7 vitality. Then what we're going to do is now we're going to go ahead and look at the chance to inflict time rot on hit with void skills. We already are at 110%. Do we need more? No. We could get more here and move things around in the tree to try to get ourselves more damage. That's always a possibility. Okay, here you go. Endurance while channeling Warpath. Now this, if you look, where is it? Does it show it on here or defenses? So your endurance threshold, like this right here. My endurance threshold with that is going to be 535. So what that, with the higher endurance, if I can remember correctly, the higher your endurance is, the way that damage comes in is, it can, I forgot exactly how the endurance worked, but you want to have a good endurance threshold, and you want to get crit strike avoidance. Crit strike avoidance is a huge thing as well, which we don't have. So we did the vitality, we get endurance while channeling Warpath, so that's a great thing that was coming in. Then we're going to go ahead and go here, and we're going to be looking for the different things that we want. One of the things that we're going to want is as much health as possible. So let's do 5 health because we're not going to be going that high. And then we're going to be looking at what we have for general. We want physical resistance. We need cold resistance on the next thing. So this, like I said, with rings, what we can do is either a vitality here, or we can do this one. I like the opal rings, and the reason why is because opal rings have 2 implicits. One of them is a +2 to all, or +1 or 2 to all attributes. And then you can go ahead and go in and say, hey, give me my it's not, vitality doesn't come on rings, does it? The only way to get vitality is off of this ring right here. I forgot about that. Oh, that so sucks. That so sucks. They give you dexterity, all the other things, but they don't give you what you need. Oh, that so sucks. I forgot about that. Okay, so that means let's just understand what that means. That means we gotta go here Reduce that. We'll just have to take it off the belt because we need the vitality. Vitality is a huge big thing for this build. Without vitality, you really are not going to be able to do a lot of damage. Okay, and so what you want to do is you want to go ahead and get the vitality. You want to go ahead and grab that increased damage over time. You want to go ahead and grab increased healing effectiveness is actually a good one too. If you need, you might need some mana regen, so look for that mana regen as well. And then you want to do spell damage, which is just or void damage. So I like to do void damage. Oh, gotta switch over. You want to get that like that. Then on your suffixes, you want to code at about there. And if you can, you want to get that like that. Save that out. And see what you're going to do is you get that crit avoidance, which is what I was talking about defensive wise. You want that crit avoidance. You want to get that as high as possible. Y'all want to get that as high as possible because you don't want to be crit. And as you can see, we're at 73 right there. We got to get another ring. We're going to have to do coral because we definitely want to be able to get as much as we possibly can. You want to go ahead and do the same thing. We want to get the avoidance. You want that crit avoidance. And we want to go ahead and take that like that. Ding, crit avoidance. Then on this one, we're gonna go ahead and do, let's save that. What are we missing? So, necrotic from the amulet. We might be able to pull the amulet. Ah, that's right. Oh, that kind of sucks. That kind of sucks. Yeah, we're just gonna have to accept it. So we got that. We're gonna go ahead and go here. We're gonna go damage over time. Prefix 2. So we could do critical strike chance, which is also a very good thing, but most likely you're gonna need to do a mana regen. Always remember, mana regen is a must. So let's just do spell damage and damage over time. That's going to be the best we can do there. Avoidance. And then the second one is going to be added health and added health regen. So that's probably what we're going to go around there. But let's just save that and see what we got. We're missing fire resistance and void resistance. So let's go here. We can do fire resistance or void resistance. We could do this as well. If we can get that and save, that will take up all of our resistances that are elemental. So if we do this and we do this and we get T7 on that. And then we take down spell damage. Because usually, I'm not even going to deny, I usually can get 2 T7s on an item. 3 T7s, I usually struggle, but you can get it done. And then we just have void resistance. So this is where we can sit there and we got these are really awesome belts. And what the belt, I need a +4 slot belt. And with that +4 slot belt, this increases the movement speed. Yay, it's got 4 slots. This one is +6 slots, which is really good if you want to keep yourself alive. This one automatically is a good one, which gives you poison and cold resistance. I usually go for the ones that have the movement speed, the armor, or the spider silk. The other ones are all okay, but they just don't work for me in what I'm doing on my build. So like by doing this one, right? I can do this one. And when I do that one, I have better opportunity. Cool. So if we can get cooldown recovery speed at that, we can get, save that. Okay. So this gives us better armor, cooldown recovery speed and everything. This is going to be an interesting situation because with this, we get this armor configuration. I like it right here. Now, that gives us armor mitigation of around about 32 with us going, okay, we're going to be throwing armor here. We're going to be throwing armor on here. And we got that armor on the helmet. That only gets a mitigation down to, or armor mitigation to 32. And if you notice, we don't have a lot of other things. So we've got to be very careful on our configuration. Now, void resistance is the only thing that we need on this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and put void. We get void resistance on this? Yes, we do. So if we do void resistance, we can just even do that as a T there, and that would max us out. So we're maxed out on all resistances. We don't need any more resistances. We got the cooldown, which is the best thing possible. And then we can go ahead and go into what we're going to be looking for damage and things like that. So remember I said mana, always look to see if you need mana regen. And I will say it again, what I'm doing right now does not take into account mana regen. If you are going to run out of mana, make sure you take mana regen, okay? That is like, I will repeat it. This build can burn mana if you don't address that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna do mana regen with like that. Let's just do that. Save it. So my mana regen is 13.92, right? That's not enough. And I will call that out. It's not enough. And the reason why it's not enough is anomaly is going to cost us nothing. Devouring orb is going to cost us 18 mana. It's going to cost us 18 mana cooldown for it is 4 seconds. Now this is not the right cooldown. It's not, because it's not going to calculate, and I don't know how to calculate the cooldown for it, but the cooldown is definitely not that. Okay, and with our mana regen being this low, we are not going to be able to sustain. So what we will have to do is we will have to sacrifice void damage down to 5 and make sure our mana regen is a tier 7. That brings us only up to there. So what do we need? We need to make sure that our gloves take into a lot of stuff into account. So when I do gloves, I'm gonna go ahead and just be honest. When I do gloves, I actually look at this glove right here, or I look at this glove right here. This glove is the one I normally run, which is the increased cooldown recovery, because I want to be able to do a lot of cooldown recovery. And a lot of cooldown recovery means I get more devouring orbs out. More devouring orbs out means I do a lot more damage. So let's go ahead and do the first thing we're going to want to do on this one is, so this one, this is just an increase with mana. That won't work. Critical strike avoidance, we want to have that at the maximum. The next thing we want to do on this one is we want to go ahead and have dodge rating, elemental resistances, endurance. Want to have as much health as possible. Then we're going to look at this one. So now we got that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to figure out what we want to do. We've already got ourselves critical strike avoidance at the maximum. We've already got the health at the maximum. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at what other things we can do. We can do increase spell, increase area for area skills. That's actually is a good one, but we don't want that one. We're going to take that off. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do things such as damage over time on a 5. We're going to go to this one, and we're either going to go cast speed. We're going to go attunement. Attunement is also a good one. Or we can do critical strike chance. I probably would go critical strike chance. Melee damage, least just health. We could do that one. Save that. So we're still got right here, if you look at the mitigation, we're still only got 30% armor mitigation, which means that we're gonna have to go in here and make sure we get a lot of stuff. Okay, so this kind of sucks for us. Boot wise, let's go ahead. Boots, 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 boots. Woohoo. Yep. Okay, nothing good, so let's go ahead and go with that one. That's what we want. We're gonna look for vitality because it's the most important thing That is our most important stat. Vitality. And then after that, we want crit avoidance. That is the next and most important stat. Then we're gonna go here and we'll, since we have a problem, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go something like that. Save that. That takes us to this. We want to increase, so we can do increased armor like that, or we can do remove that and put in that and save. See, it's 38. What we want is we want the percentage. We want that percentage. That percentage is real good. We might actually need to revisit because one of the things is like the crit avoidance. Where is it? Crit avoidance doesn't pop up here. It pops up in defense. Crit avoidance is already maxed out. So what we can do is we can go back to here. We can grab that crit avoidance and take that crit avoidance now. We can even, let's see if we take it off, what happens? Does the defense crit avoidance? Yes, we already hit the crit avoidance max, which is good. We haven't hit our endurance threshold. So we can take this to 7, vitality there. Do we have endurance on boots? No, we don't. So, okay. We'll do the health. We'll do health 5. And ooh, there we go. Instead of that, let's do this. Cooldown recovery. Is there a list where they list the cooldown recovery? Cooldown recovery would be so much better if we had that. All right, so we got vitality, and this is the next one. We can go ahead and go at movement speed. Shoot, look. This is a dream. This is a dream right here. That'll be the dream piece of gear right here. We're gonna have vitality at tier 7. We're gonna have movement speed at tier 7. We're gonna have increased cooldown recovery at tier 5. And that's gonna be this piece of gear right here. Boop. That is a dream piece of gear. 3 tier 7s. And if we get to 3 tier 7s, boom, that would be perfect. As a dream, that's my dream gear. I will put one dream piece of gear on every league. Now, this is the cool one. Future Strike increases the effect applied during void, deals all damage at the end. Oh, what's a Future Strike? How do you do Future Strike? Increase effects applied, additional void percent. I don't know. I don't have anything that does Future Strike. Never mind. I was sitting there, I was like, I don't remember Future Strike. So this is the one that we're going to probably get, which is the Tainted Effigy. But the ones that we can get is the male Golden Chalice, which is the normal one. Or Mournful, which are the best. So we have Mournful, which gives you health gain on each melee hit, which is a great one. Or you can go ahead and go with the void damage one. So it really depends on what you're looking for. If you're going to be taking more damage, and in other words, if you're looking and you're like, okay, I need to guarantee that I stay alive, or I want to make sure that I stay alive, I would suggest making sure that you look for Mournfuls. And the reason why is because if you look for a Mournful, every melee hit is you're getting health back. So that means when I'm spinning around, every hit I'm going to get health back. So that would be the reason why I would do that. Let's see if we got any vitality. No. All right, so no vitality configurations. Damage while channeling. Increased damage while channeling is definitely something we want to put on. After that, we could then go ahead and say increased healing effectiveness might be the best route. Or we can go with the smite. I'd look for smite. We can get four like that would be great. Then here, added health and added health regen would be a great one. We could do that at a 5. Or what we could do is we could look for this, and we can sacrifice getting some other ones, but that would be good. And then over here we can actually do endurance at a 5. So we're short by a lot. We are short by a lot. We just made the 92. Okay, so we made 92 by maxing out vitality here, maxing out vitality on the ring, or making sure we have rings with vitality, maxing out vitality on the chest piece, maxing out vitality on the helmet piece. This gets us that gets us to that 92 that we're looking for, because we have to get 92. We have to get 92. And the reason why we have to get 92 is that gives us a big bonus to damage. If you remember in the tree, not the tree, is it in the tree? I think it is. There is something that says gotta have plus 90 vitality for it to actually take effect. And I don't remember where it is. Is it there or is it here? Or is it in one of our powers? It's one of the powers. When we did what it is as soon as you get 90, you get increased you get increased damage. It doubles your damage, doubles your heal. That's what it was. It doubles your heal. Doesn't double damage, it doubles heal. And so we chose this weapon because it was just like one of the uniques that we could possibly use. Let's just go ahead and do this. Void. Right? Gonna look at uniques. This is a spear with void. Let's go ahead and look at this. Void damage, volcanic arrow. Oh, I don't know what that is. That don't look too good. Dude, don't look too swift to me. Don't look too swift to me. This is actually a good one. That's a good one, but I don't really like it. Let's look at maces. That's not a good one. There we go. Let's look at some of these crazy ones. Doom. Doom. Two-handed swords. And nope. 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 No, 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 no. Hey, this might be something. Hold on, let's look at this one. This is Eternal Eclipse. Gives me fire damage every 2 seconds for the next fire melee attack. Has plus 200 melee void damage and plus 200 to time rot chance. Okay, every 2 seconds, your next void melee attack has fire damage and to 100% ignite. Increased void damage. This might be actually the best one. This might actually be better overall than the other one. And the reason why I point that out is, and I'm gonna point this out because of the following. This is saying, hey, every 2 seconds, your next fire melee attack has increased more melee void damage and time rot chance. And it says every 2 seconds, your next void melee attack and fire damage has has fire damage and ignite damage. Okay, so might be interesting because if you look at the skill here, what does that say? All your ignite chances become time rot. So is there anything else in here that says, hey, we can't do fire damage? Let's see here real quick. Fire. What's up, Smeagol? Long time no see, big dog. Long time no see. I don't know what you've been up to, man. You've been hiding out. That's what you've been doing. You've been hiding out. You know you can't be hiding out on us like that. Thanks, Smeagol. I'm sorry. Let me switch over real quick. There you go. I have to actually figure out a way to get that to pop up on the other screen. I don't understand why. It's me and my inability to actually do things correctly. But you saw it. It popped up. It said Smeagol gave me a sub. That's what it says. Thank you, Smeagol. Thank you very much, man. All right, so Smeagol, you gonna be playing Last Epoch, or you just playing something else, or really upset that they have crazy things that you don't want to do? Yeah, like I thought. This sword that we had, that we were looking at, that sword that we had right here, the Eclipse, when you look at it, it has so much more damage. So much more damage. It stacks so well. You want to go Erasure Strike starting Paladin, then going Warpath until I drop World Splinter. Me, I'm going to Warpath right off the bat. I'm not even gonna play around. I'm just going Warpath from start to finish. I thought about trying to do Eraser, but Erasing Strike, but that can be kind of cumbersome in the mid game. But then by that time, you actually might be able to get to some places. So it's one of those. Hey, which brings me my question. You said to like 85. Warpath is definitely call early game. Definitely, for the early game, that's going to be the way to go. I forgot what World Splinter is. I actually forgot what World Splinter is. What is World Splinter? That's an item? Unique axe, needing erasure. Oh yeah, okay. I was about to say, there you go. That World Splitter, there we go. Chance to apply bleed on melee hit, void damage, increases the area that critical strike chance with mother. Oh, this is actually really nice. That's actually really nice. World Splitter, definitely. You can pick that up from Harbinger of Hatred. Black Sun timeline. Ooh, okay. Yeah, you don't want to do it on Aberoth. You want to get that normal. Yeah, once you eventually drop it, we're thinking to swap into it. Yeah. So what I'm looking for, or what I'm actually planning on, is doing this one. Wraith, the Black Sun timeline. Got to do that over and over again until I can get this. This is actually really nice for what I am doing. Okay. And the reason why is because of that right there. That increased void damage makes time rot beautiful. Beautiful. That's gonna make it real nice. Real nice. And calculation wise, it actually pops up to be about like this. Now, one of the things I need to try to figure out is how to get my time rot duration up. get my time right duration up. That's one of the things. Increase my duration. That probably will come from something like, not that. Duration. There you go. Increase. No, that's the stun duration. That's what I'm really needing, is to get and figure out how to do increased durations. Time rod duration. Here we go. So I need to get that on a huge idol. Because the more of this, it's gonna be good. I haven't seen the time right unique gloves. Okay, let me go ahead and look at the gloves. Unique time. You dropped it in a campaign? Okay. Where is my time bright gloves? Okay, let's just go ahead and look at, see if I can do rot. There we go. Oh, these. I completely forgot about those. Good afternoon, El Chade. What we're doing is we're actually messing around with let's say remove everything, and I'm doing a time rot. I'm doing a time rot type build. So let's see what that does for me. That's beautiful. That duration is beautiful. That duration is beautiful. Duration is 55% now. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for Smeagol. You are awesome. You reminded me about something I forgot about. The time right gloves. Now you used to be able to do things like, oh yeah, much love. Thank you. So that increased my damage by a really good amount. And then what we have to do is we have to start looking at what we're gonna do. Is there any set things like that? No. Okay. So we got to look at idols. Increase damage for 4 seconds if you have cast Devouring Orb recently. That's actually pretty good. Oh, come on. Really? I hate that. I never figured out how to get this thing to work right. I never have done that right. So now I did this and I screwed up somehow. Select idle, select this. There, let's say damage over time, and I say save. I never can figure out exactly how I'm supposed to put these and place these in place. Not gonna use Decayed Skull helmet for that extra void damage. Nah, because I'm gonna need which one are you talking about? The one for talking about the unique or a set one? Unique. Decayed Skull. To 20% of void and necrotic damage taken as physical. 80% of void and 80% increased void on necrotic damage. I went with this because it gave me the devouring orb, so that I was going to try to go to a +4 devouring orb modification, because that gives me the ability to get over here. So this only comes, these four will only come from being able to have a 24. And what it does is it allows me, so when I'm doing my devouring orbs, I don't know if you remember when you're running a devouring orb and you're doing devouring orb and you're kind of running around, one of the things that it'll do is there we go, that's what I was looking for. Okay, one of the things that it will do is a bolt will fly out and it explodes. You want is put on it. Okay. I can eventually put with legendary legendary potential 2. I can actually have a chance to put T2 or higher of Jura and get as guaranteed mod. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Grants more void damage and more melee damage, and reduces received stun duration. Yay! No, that's not what it is. Okay, so okay, I can see where that would actually come in handy. I'm not gonna sit there and say it's not gonna come in handy. That would actually come in, because you get that 80%, close to 80% of void damage increase. Because my main thing was I wanted to make sure that I get that get devouring orb increase, because that devouring orb increase, it and with the new configuration, you can just sit there and the devouring orbs are going off, and while you're just running around, you're flinging off devouring orbs. Well, abyssal orbs are what they're called, and they'll fling out and hit enemies. So I could be running and it'll just, hey, there's an enemy over there, and it just flings out and gets it. And the DOT defense too. That is probably the biggest thing about that helmet that you told me about. That is the biggest thing about that helmet, is that is the defense. If you look at it, that's crazy. That gives you that armor mitigation. Also applies the damage over time, and you get more armor multiplicative with other stacks. So that actually goes really good. 20% of void and necrotic damage taken as physical damage, and that's actually really good. It's an aspirational. I like that. You can try for it. That's what you just told me. You were like, you can try for that. It's aspiration. My aspirational piece of gear is this one right here. 3 tier 7s on it. That's my aspirational gear. That's my aspirational one. That is T7 movement, T7 vitality, and T7 increased armor. I really need to figure out what I'm gonna do with these figure out what I'm gonna do with these things, because vitality is gonna be one of the things that I want to look for. Also, I want to look for certain things in these things, just like to try to get like better damage and stuff. Like there are certain things that is like damage over time increases. That's what I really want to make sure I get damage over time increases. Yes, new patches tomorrow. You've only seen 2 T7s on the item. Yes, that is normal. 2 T7s on the item is normal. Like I said, aspirational. Well, with the changes that they're making, you can actually get 3. Sucker man, I'm gonna go ahead and go because I don't even want to talk to people right now. Sucker man's you just trying to rub it in, sucker man. That's all you trying to do. You trying to rub it in. That's just terrible. That's just terrible. I had to work to midnight yesterday, and then I had to work the day before. There was no I'm gonna play this until the do this until the wee hours of the morning to try to get myself the maps. No, I didn't make it, sucker man. I didn't make it. I didn't make it the maps. I was upset on that one. So, but what I'm thinking is, what I really think is I should try to figure out what idols I want to work, because the idols are going to be making a major difference. This is going to be a good one. Oh, you haven't made it to maps either? Hey, hey, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. It's one of those ones that was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. No, I didn't. Void damage over time. That'll be a good one. Okay, so what do you think? What do you think I should be looking for? I think I need this one. Increased damage for 4 seconds if you've cast Devouring Orb recently. Since I'm going to be casting it on a regular basis, I think this is the best thing to have. I could get that on. So it's on a huge. I can get it on a huge. I'll shut up and listen to you talk about things I know nothing about. Hey, I'm telling you, what you need is you need to the new game is fun. You need to buy it. It's actually a really good game. I enjoy playing this game. So we'll do this. All right, so can I get devouring in any of these? No devouring, no devouring, no devouring, no devouring, no devouring, no devouring. Only on a huge idol can I get devouring. Okay, so I have to get that. Put that on it. A suffix that I want to add to it was going to be let's do health. Health is always a good one. Or void damage over time. We can do void damage over time. This is actually a good one. But let's just save that. Boop. There you go. And the reason why I want that one is that will actually help with this here. The huge idol is going to give me some. That'll actually help me out. And then I can do another huge idol here. I want the same thing. I want that. And then on my suffix side, I think I'm gonna go with health or damage over time. So either I could do either one. What's my health at? Let's just do save. My health is at 28. That's actually pretty good. So what this does is this actually gives me a really good amount of did it tally it up? Oh, okay. No, I'm gonna have to do this. Suffix. I want void damage. Save. That will increase my damage. There we go. That's it. That increases my damage. All right. And then I just got to fill in the rest of the locations. Like this is gonna be a 1-2 type location like this. I can do this. Look for a prefix. I can do health by 4%. That'll be great. My suffix is gonna be let's go elemental resistance. Save. And that actually would give me increased health. But yeah, so this is all those ones that we got to try to figure out what we're gonna do. We got that, this, cast void rift on kill, chance to gain inspiration on kills with void skills, inspiration. That would be the awesome right here. That would be the awesome. Okay, so this is like the greatest thing ever right here. That's gonna be the awesomest. And the reason why is because if you get that particular piece, let's sure that armor does. So what we want is we want this one, which is going to be greatest, the inspiration, and you want to do that again. You want that inspiration again, because if that's going to be like the greatest thing to have is that inspiration. Because if you can get inspiration, and so I get 23% chance, or up to 23% chance, up to 23% chance here. That is going to be about a 50% chance of when I kill something, I'm going to get inspiration. What does inspiration do? Inspiration, it has a 4-second duration, right? And that 4-second duration, what it does is it increases your cooldown recovery speed. Okay. And what is the one thing that I told you about the way that this thing works? One, I'm still too short. I need to get some more mana regen, so I'm probably going to have to redo some of my gear to get better mana regen. And the reason why is because mana regen is like humongous. Mana regen is like humongous. If we could get mana regen, it would just like be the greatest. So the reason I say that is because mana regen in this mana regen or increased health effectiveness, things like that, that's probably going to be the next configuration. But mana regen gives me the ability to be able to cast those spells over and over again. The minimum mana regen that we're going to want to have in this configuration is going to be around about 18 or more. You want to have mana regen sitting around about 20, 20, 25 if you can, and that would be really good. And the reason why I say that is because if you do 20, 25 mana regen, you're not going to necessarily burn through your mana so quickly. So with the warpath going in place, and when using warpath, this is the key thing is when using warpath, you're going to burn mana. You can get warpath to get up. You want to try to get warpath, an increase to warpath somewhere. And if you can get the increase to warpath somewhere, you can go ahead and do this if need be to get you that -10. That -10 will guarantee that you will not burn any mana when executing when you're doing warpath, because you reduced it by 10. Channeling cost, they say mana per second is 18. That's neither here nor there. It won't be that high, so you won't lose any mana as long as you're up in a good ratio. The key problem is this: mana cost for Devouring Orb. Devouring Orb is going to be kicking off on a regular basis. Boom, 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 every time. And your cooldown recovery is going to be going as fast as possible. So that cooldown recovery is going to cause mana Devouring Orb to just be so many Devouring Orbs are going to be coming out, and they're going to be coming out. Plus you're going to be getting spell echoed. And so that's going to happen as well. So that's going to be giving you a ton of those, but that's going to burn through your mana pretty quickly. One of the reasons why I do not use abyssal echoes is because how much mana abyssal echoes cost. Now, if you remember when we were talking about, hey, why don't you use, what was it? This and use this one right here. Every 5 seconds, use your abyssal tempest. And what happens is anytime I put that in place, I burn through so much mana. I'm out of mana that quick. So I don't use that one. Now, if you have enough mana regen, you don't have to necessarily put your point in this one, but it is probably going to happen where you're going to have to pull back a point somewhere and use it to here. Now, do not pull back the point from this one. And the reason why is this is a actual major point of damage for you. And you want to make sure that you have that. And why is my dog's barking? Why are you barking? Leave me alone. All right. So the reason why you want to have that is because if you don't, smite won't go off regularly. Every second, smite will drop. Boom, 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 boom. While spinning, you have a chance to cast smite each second on a nearby enemy. Now, as long as you have smite with this maxed out, with that maxed out, and you converted it to void, you're going to heal back. Every time smite hits, you're going to heal back a lot of heal back. So you can put in 100% crit multiplier. You can increase the crit multiplier and everything like that with the extra points that you're going to get from the pieces of gear. And you can do this, get those extra, that's 50% chance here that everything's going to be, that you're going to get a time rot chance every time it comes down. So that's actually one of the reasons why you get those extra points. Devour, like I said, devouring orb, you're going to be going off, and you're going to want, because this auto cast, you're going to want that cooldown to be as short as possible, Anomaly is always a good thing, but you got to make sure that you get that time bubble cast on you. So that time bubble and any extra size, anything extra, what you want to do is you want to get the size right here, the area. So with this, if you get any extra levels to void skills or anything like that, you're going to want to make sure that you get this increase. So that will increase the bubble size around you. And you want to get that bubble size as large as possible if you can. The reason why I'd use this one is because I want effects to happen immediately. You can, and this right here is one of those things that you can actually, when enemies return to the present, they take damage for 5 seconds. You could lower this and increase this. So it'll be 2 seconds. So when anomaly goes off for 2 seconds, they take more damage. I like to have as much as possible. So that gives us 3 seconds. That gives us 4 seconds. That gives us 5 seconds. So if they get hit with anomaly for 5 seconds, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, they're taking 50% more void damage. I like that. You can kind of find that sweet spot between increased bubble and how much damage they're going to take. So that's one of those ones that you're going to probably have to try to figure out that sweet spot of what you want to have. Other than that, that's everything's good except for I know I'm going to need to increase my. Oh, I know why. I changed pieces of gear. That's right. Dang it. That's why. So I might have to go back and play around with my gear configurations. Most likely gotta get this one, that one. Gotta get rid of health regen per second. Is there a mana regen on this one? No, there's not a mana regen. Oh, that sucks. I'll just go ahead and put an endurance. and save. That gives me that endurance. There you go. That takes me to endurance 60. I was short on endurance anyway. This takes me to endurance 60, which is the max. You want to have endurance at the max. You want to have crit strike avoidance at the max if you can. I only got crit strike avoidance on the rings. I moved some stuff around. The gloves used to have crit strike avoidance. I removed that earlier. So I gotta adjust my stuff so that I can actually get a little bit. This is actually, I gotta play with this. I gotta take that off because there's no way we're gonna get that. So let's go to there. Save. So with the armor mitigation, we're only going to be mitigating about 40%. We're not going to make that beautiful 85% cap on that, but we want to try to get 85% cap if you can there. You want to make sure you have everything good there. Always make sure you get 92 or higher on your vitality configuration. You want to make sure your mana regen, so we're going to have to adjust some things to try to get mana regen up. We want mana regen at the best we can, which mana regen, like I said, you want to have at least 25 mana regen, and that will make sure that you will not necessarily need anything. You won't have to stop. You won't have to be, you want to be like, oh, I ran out of mana. You can just kind of roll through and just, pretty much knock out, destroy most things. Let's see. About 10 hours away for us, like right here. Last Epoch. Boo-boo. Uh-oh. Last Epoch, stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. There we go. 12 hours away. 12 hours away. This thing was playing around, not doing the right thing. All right, so 12 hours away, people. We got 12 hours until we start. Okay, so this is the current build. Okay, this build's already in my collection. So what I need to determine, and this is where I'm gonna have to try to figure out, is what I'm gonna do with these right here. So most likely I'm gonna do like mana regen. Yes, I am taking tomorrow off from work to play. It is going to happen. They are going to allow me to play. They probably won't, but they're going to say that they're going to allow me to play. All right. So let's go ahead and say that. We're going to go here. We're going to go damage over time. We're going to go shared void, save. So this is probably going to be one of those ones where we're going to get the resistances that we need from the idols, because the idols are not going to give us what we want. And so this right here is pretty much where we're going to be. Now, if we look at this in an objective way, Time Rot has the ability to drop approximately 12 Time Rots. If I am attacking with Warpath and I'm using all my other skills, I might want to increase my attack damage with it, but I've got all the other skills as well to be able to do Time Rot. If I can get to 12 stacks of Time Rot, that's 45,000 points of damage a second, I think, or something like that. Nope, that's over time. Over the life of 4 seconds, I think it is. So that would be divided by 4. It's 11,000 a second minimum. All right, either way it goes, that's what we're going. That's what we got. I like Doom, but I can't really get myself behind Doom. So Witchfire, that's actually pretty cool. All right, so either way it goes, Time Rot, 110% chance to inflict Time Rot, 55% chance to increase my Time Rot capability because of this gloves. Thank you very much, Smeagol. Thank you very much about the gloves. Oh, yeah, it was Smeagol who told me about the gloves, right? Yeah. He did. And so this is my build. This is what I'm going to be running. It's going to be a Warpath, Devouring Orb, Anomaly running, Rebuke if I need to save myself, Lunge forward to get through things build. This is how I see myself in the future. And so tomorrow's going to be run through as fast as possible with my standard loot filter, and then when I get to monoliths, I'm going to stop. And the reason why is I need to go through get to the monoliths, stop, redo my entire filter, because I have my filter was kind of built for Devouring Orb only and not kind of for both. So there's certain things that we're going to need to do. And wait, using lunge, why use the non-volatile reversal for removement? I just always used lunge. Oh, mine's pretty good to start off with. I just, volatile reversal. I could use volatile reversal because I don't use I'm just I don't specialize in it at all. It's just for movement. Yeah, so I'm not using it using any specialties for the skill. I just use it just to zip across the screen and attack. And you are correct. I should use volatile reversal because versus lunge. So lunge has a 4-second cooldown. Volatile reversal has a 6-second cooldown. I just always use lunge because I'm just using it to run across the screen, run across the screen, run across the screen. Yeah, but I'm not like I said, I'm not specializing in it. The only thing I'm specializing in is Warpath, Rebuke, so that I can actually take some damage and also get reduced damage against me when I need it. Smite and Devouring Orb and Anomaly. Now, if I was, let's just say, if I would, I could actually say, okay, let's not do Smite and Devouring Orb. Let's just do one or the other, and then specialized in time reversal, because then I could do the time rot. I can try to do time rot stuff in here. It has time rot and devouring orb. Can it help me take a slam? I haven't really used this. I'm just going to be honest. I haven't really used time reversal. very often. I use a rebuke because rebuke can give, rebuke. Yeah, I use rebuke for when I can't get out. I press the rebuke, and then it enhances my ability to take a damage, because you can increase your armor with it. You can reduce elemental damage by 60%. It only channels for 2 seconds, but it's oh my gosh, I'm not gonna make it. Press Q, and poof, you survived it. Then you keep on going. But that's my old man, I'm going to die button. If I'm looking for damage, I think probably that teleport would be actually really nice. Hold up a second. What's up, brother? I think I'm going to smite Void Knight. Oh, that's actually pretty good, Dark Nimbus. Smite Void Knight might be actually pretty good. That's what I'm doing, kind of, but not really. Have you seen Needle Unique? The Cholti Needles Unique? No, I haven't. Let's look at that. So let's look at that real quick. Let's look at this way. Needle. There we go. Okay, so let's look at this. This is a two-handed sword. 90 melee damage. It has a built-in crit multiplier for melee. Block chance is converted to parry chance while not wielding a shield. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Melee critical strike multipliers per meter from the target up to 8. What does that mean? Melee critical strike multiplier per meter from the target up to 5 meters. I'm going to head to sleep. Hopefully I'll catch you stream tomorrow. I will be on it as soon as it starts. So if you're hitting stuff with Warpath at max range, you're pretty much have 125 multiplier. Further away the more damage. Ooh, actually that's pretty nice. That sounds pretty cool. How hard is it to get? It's in the Woven Echo. Okay. The parry chance is OP. I don't know anything about parry. Max parry chance is 75. That's actually that's actually a pretty good thing. Hold up for a second. Let me see. Ryan T. More crit multiplier further away, the longer range on puncture and firebrand. Okay, got it. Thank you, Ryan, for letting me know about that. I think they told me in the Twitch chat as well, but I wanted a reference that you did type it in first. It seems like timestamp wise, Ryan beats you guys. I want y'all to know that. You could pick up inherent block off the tree, but cannot block without a shield. So it's pretty much a free block. Okay. Yeah. So can you get parry any other way? Is there any other way to get parry? So no, there's no other way to get parry, really. Oh, that kind of sucks. I mean, I'm just saying. That's actually really nice, but it kind of sucks at the same time. It's a rogue mechanic. See, I don't play rogues that often. I haven't played a rogue. I think I played a rogue once, and I didn't go far with it. You can slam more parry chance. Is that a dub item or a regular LP unique? Okay, so this is okay. So the two-handed sword is a Weaver's Will and cannot have legendary potential. Parry is a suffix on weapons. All right, let's look at that. Let's just jump in here. Boom. Let's look at type in parry. Parry chance. There you go. All right, that's a prefix on weapons. Okay. I might have to put some parry in place. Ooh. It couldn't hurt. So I can roll extra parry chance on it. Yeah. Takes a damage mod. Yeah, that's true. It does take a damage mod, but it's actually pretty nice. That's pretty nice. I ain't gonna deny. So we have an idea of what we want to do long term tomorrow. We must get to monoliths and stop and redo our filter or make a new filter. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to make a new filter, kind of look for specific things. It won't even allow me to log in. I tried to do that too. I was like, well, that's okay. The servers are down. I'll go offline mode and then I'll do offline and then I'll be able to do it. Play offline. Okay, so it will allow you to play because it popped up and then I clicked play offline and it actually blew up and it wouldn't do it. So there is a look in the library. So you're saying I can go here, go to settings, look at the game properties, launch options, play full offline. Okay. Close that and hit play. All right. So I'm going to go hardcore, Dark. Dark, I'm going hardcore. I'm going hardcore. This is not going to be this is not going to go well over for me. Just put that. I'm gonna point that out. This is not going to go well. I am going to die horribly. Hey, I've never played in offline mode. Let's do this. Let's look at this. Oh wow, when you play offline mode, it actually changes some stuff. It won't even recognize the doggone it won't recognize the game. Ah ha ha ha. There you go. All right, so I'm going hardcore. So what I need to do is go blah-tastic. Yeah. Hey, Schmiegel, if this works, I dude, I owe you. Yes, it does work. Schmiegel is the awesome. I owe you, Schmiegel. I owe you so big. I owe you big time. I can now adjust my filters. Oh, that's so awesome. Dude, y'all are the greatest. Y'all are the greatest. That's why I love you guys. What you laughing at, Dark? What you laughing at? This is gonna be great. So I need to go through and adjust the warpath configuration to what I kind of adjusted it from what I had initially. So I had Void Knight, and the Void Knight one is different than, I did already made some adjustments, but last night while I was actually thinking, I was like, well, I need to really do a lot more modifications to the filter so that the filter works better for me. Because some of the things that I need to do is, I noticed that I had a lot of things that were hitting the ground that I wasn't necessarily picking up to use when I got to around about 40. So I was rushing through, kind of running through, and I got to about 40 and I was just seeing so much stuff on the ground that I really didn't want to deal with. So what I want to do, and I probably will do it tomorrow morning, is I want to go through and redo the filter from scratch. Just scrap everything. Then I can use the build that I'm looking for and say, okay, well, I'm looking for these specific things. I'm looking for this, 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 looking for this. And if it hits the ground in any of those combinations, off we go to the races, you know? And then put colors of shatter. What I'm going to use for shatter, this is going to be shatter material. These are all going to be shatter material. Dark, I just was doing my build guide. I've actually run through, hold up a second. I thought you might not have been watching. Let's see if we can switch back over to browser. This is my build right here. Bling. This is the build that I'm going to be using. And that's what, so earlier, Dark, you might not have been online when we were talking about it, but it was, El Chide was sitting there telling me, hey, why don't I use reversal? Why don't I use, instead of just having lunge on the bar and everything, that go ahead and grab volatile reversal, because I'm using it only as an extra move speed or extra move. Okay. And because I'm using it as an extra move, I was like, okay, I'll just use lunge, put it on the bar. And so what happens is I need to get from this side of the screen to that side of the screen. They got a mob. I just boom. And then I'm right there and I'm warpathing into that mob and into that pack of creatures. This does a jump forward. And when it jumps forward, it will do damage. And so it will jump forward, hit that area, do damage, and so it will do damage. Now, the one thing that I thought for me is I just like to be able to do it, and it's a 6-second cooldown. And so even though I'm planning on getting, so when I use things like the things that I have in my build that I use in my build on a regular basis, is I get that increased cooldown recovery speed, max that out as fast as possible, as many times as possible. And then what happens is that 6 seconds of me, and then, well, not 6 seconds. This one's actually 4 seconds, I think. Lunge is a 4-second cooldown. I can bring that down even further so that I'm across the screen, and using whirlwind or warpath, I can just kind of wax out stuff, and then next one, wax out stuff, next one, wax out stuff, and then it's just better, faster. It seems faster to me. I've used it all the time. I've never really used volatile reversal, which I might try to switch over to it eventually, but I just, you know, I'm just I'm going to use what I'm used to for now, and then maybe switch it later. Maybe switch it over later. But right now, for now, at the beginning of running and everything, that I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use what I'm used to. Volatile Reversal got reworked this season. See, that might be a reason to look at it. Before it just yeah, now you actually can do damage. Yeah, so you kind of make me want to do it. You kind of do, because it does. There are benefits of being able to teleport to a location and do damage immediately, and having it do that. So hold up. Is there a reduction in time thing in here where it reduces it? Seconds younger, seconds older. Cooldown recovery per expired orb. That actually might make it faster. When you jump backwards in time, Devouring Orb recovers some of its cooldown, scaling with the amount of Devouring Orbs that expired after jumping forward in time. Is there a way to not get it to worry about jumping back? You're right. I might have to sacrifice something to do it. Directly below the start. Second combo removed. Okay. It might be worth it. I might have to get rid of Smite and run the Smite configuration, or I could get rid of Rebuke and specialize into it, because this right here, no, there's no jumping back in time though. That's gonna change things. It might require some experimentation. So both of these say when jumping backwards in time. This one actually would get rid of cooldown recovery, so it makes it faster. Okay, here we go. This is the one I need right here. Reversal second combo ability now jumps you forward in time to your target location instead of backwards. Oh, hold up. You can get rid of that. Because the first one, it jumps forward. This is going to get you a second jump. Yeah, that's what I just thought of. It's like I can jump twice, boom, boom. This does require some thinking, dude. You might have caused me to have to rethink a little bit of this. Yeah, that's something I might have to think about, dude. It's actually that actually might come in some. It might actually come in pretty handy. Yeah. Okay. All right. You causing problems over here, sir. You're causing problems. Oh yeah, the devouring orb automation is going. Dark is going to be so awesome, so awesome. And you are correct. It's going to be, you know, that would work really well with it. So, a lot of people do different ways of doing the devouring orb. But yes, I do enjoy it. Enjoy all the theory crafting and the working and the figuring things out. So just in case, okay, so Dark, this is something that I do on my build. Okay, so with my devouring orb configuration, it is something that I do. So this is what I'm doing for devouring orb currently. This is how I'm going to build. First things is going to be here and there. Those are the first 2 points you're going to put. So as soon as I move, boom, devouring orbs is going to be coming out on me. This does not necessarily need to be very fast, but you need these two for sure. Bing, bing. Those two definitely for sure. Then what you need to do is you need to go this route, and you need to go this route. And then after you get this route, you can go down and grab this time rot chance per second for every devouring orb. And then you go down and grab and make sure you get all the way over here. If you go hardcore, you may need to look into healing hands and symbols of hope. Healing hands, symbols of hope is actually a good one as well. I was actually just going to use rebuke to try to get my get back life. I also have been I also went the route where it's leech. I do a lot of leech. So I'm trying to do as much leech as I possibly can. There's no real way to show leech on this thing. It doesn't show me. So I got the 5% leech from here. I got the 70% here. It's not as good as I would like, but it'll work. I switched weapons. At one time I had this at 12, and it was giving me 12% leech from my melee attacks, and this was actually up more on the damage leech this health. Void damage leech itself. So it's one of those where I'm gonna have to kind of figure out exactly what I want to do. Yes, I played Last Epoch before. Hi Barry, how you doing? So I have played Last Epoch before. It's probably one of the best games I like with crafting for sure. Everybody's like, well, crafting still wasn't that deterministic, and I was like, man, that's pretty doggone good compared to some other games we know. And I like the deterministic crafting that comes from deterministic crafting that it does. It's always been kind of my thing. I enjoy the way that it is with the crafting, etc. I've always had a heart for PoE 1 crafting, but LE definitely better than PoE 2 crafting in my opinion. Okay, it's kind of nice how easier it is than it is in Last Epoch crafting. I do agree. I do agree. So yeah, I agree with that. That is definitely a truthful statement. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and do some stuff, i.e. I gotta go get me some food, and I'm gonna go to sleep, and then I'm gonna get back up, and then we're gonna be doing some I'm gonna do some filter modifications and see if I can find a better filter kind of long term. Oh, that's also another thing. The one thing that I love about the filtering, how easy it is to do filtering and create a filter in last Epoch. No, dude, Barry, there's no question, there's no problems. I'm doing a Warpath, Smite, Devouring Orb build. One of the best crafting systems. Yes, it is so much better. I love the crafting system. And then what they did to the new parts, what they added into the new parts of crafting, oh, it's gonna be even better. It's gonna be even better. I'm doing the Stormcrow build, I think. Okay, that's actually pretty interesting. So I really hope the graphics look great. They said they updated it. So my question, Barry, have you so it sounds like you've played Last Epoch and everything, and you enjoy playing Last Epoch. How much do you enjoy it? I just want to know how much do you, every RPG, yay? that's a truthful statement, except for I will say it, I will put it to you this way. There is one out there called Wolcen. I have it. I haven't loaded it back up in a long time. And the reason why I haven't loaded Wolcen back up in a long time to see if it got better is because Wolcen solely it dropped the ball in game. Going up to the end game, I loved Wolcen. Got to the end game, okay, I'm done. I've only played Last Epoch on launch, then quit because lack of end game content. Okay, so I don't think they had lack of in game content. They just don't have a variety of in game content that a lot of people they're spoiled with a game that has had 20 years of development and 20 years of in-game development versus a game that just came out. This build planner, is this something you can like import into game, or is it like something you have to reference while playing? I reference it while playing. So when I start playing, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put this on the screen over on the right hand side, and then I'm going to just be like, okay, I need to put this in, I need to put this in, I need to put this in, until I get to Smite. As soon as I get to Smite, pop over to this one. When I pop over to this one, these are where the points need to go. These are where the points need to go. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and run that. Now, when it comes to skills, I already know what I'm going to do first. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go this route. And the reason why is I have to level up Smite, and you don't want, okay, I'll explain it to you real quick. You don't want this one to be 100% until you go this route. You do the minimum, you do the minimum, you do the minimum, you do the minimum, just to get in here. Okay, then you start going this route. Do the minimum, do the minimum, do the minimum, do the minimum, then do the minimum here. By that time, you should already have Smite with all of these. You should be doing all three for this, for the double cast. You want to do 5 for that. So you need to be, this needs to be 8. And then you want to put as many points in, you want to put 1 point here and as many points there. So you're going to want to have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You want to have 14 Smite before you have this at 100%. If not, what will happen is Smite will go off so many times, your health pool will actually be affected a lot more than you expect. Because This will right here, you're sacrificing your health for smite. And so that's one of those things that you kind of got to watch out for, is you kind of got to watch out for that. You want to get, you just need 2 here. Do the 5 here, do the 5, or do the 2 here, do the 1 here, change this to void, then put a point here and just go back and forth between these 2 until you max them out. After you have them maxed out, then you can go ahead and say, okay, am I gonna, put stuff into this, and eventually you can go back over here and throw that into there. The reason why you're gonna put that into there is because the night chance actually becomes time rot chance. And with this, that's a 50% chance automatically increased to your smite when it actually hits. So you're going to be, every time smite hits, that's time rot. So, but that's one of those ones. I'm doing I'm doing a smite kind of configuration. Smite devouring orb configuration. Now, devouring orb, don't forget about devouring orb, how you use it. Devouring orb will shoot off if you do it. The first thing you want to do with devouring orb, first thing I do, I don't do devouring orb this route. I don't do this route until I get above 20, almost to above 20. What you want is, you want that auto cast. You want this right here, so that you can get increased damage to anything that has time rot on it. And then you want to go ahead and make sure you get this route and get these in place. When you get all that in, then you can go this route. And so that way, when it's casting, every so often an abyssal orb can fly off and hit something. Oh yes, I do mountain bike. I mountain bike. I'm doing SSF. No, I'm doing SSF until for at least the first 4 or 5 days. I'm doing SSF, and then after that, then I'm going to not do SSF. I'm doing I have a Marin. I have a Marin for my bike. Oh, you're into mountain biking also? That's nice, Barry. That's actually pretty cool. So I love downhill, but I have to go uphill. So what I mean by that is, how do you keep yourself healthy? Pedaling uphill. I hate climbing. I do. I hate climbing, but it's the only way to keep myself healthy, is to make sure that climb goes in. But I do love downhill more than I love climbing, but I will rather climb as much as I can, get off the bike, walking it up the hill, walk that thing up the hill, and then just get back on and continue to try to climb and everything that. Because the payoff for me, that climb, there's a payoff. And that payoff is when I go downhill. I actually go to different trails. So I use NTB, mountain bike, mountain trail biking, whatever you want to call it. And I go find different places that are around my area. And so there are things that are around my area that I have. Actually, I could just get on my bike and just ride down the street, and there's a park down the street. Don't get me wrong. And it's about 1.5 miles from my house to get to that park. And then I can ride at that park. That's 1.5 miles from the house to get there, then ride the park. It's not that large. It's maybe about 2 miles, maybe 3 miles for the whole thing. Then I ride 1.5 miles back. That's one thing I can do. The second thing I like to do is just select a location and be like, okay, Saturday I'm going here, and then I go ride at that location. So I love mountain biking. Mountain biking is like the greatest It's one of those things that I like to do. I'm gonna go ahead and get on off here because what I need to do is go get myself some food. I also got to try to spend some time with the wife because I'm gonna ignore her this whole weekend. And you know that's the terrible thing to do is to ignore your wife because she will cut you in your sleep. So, all right, guys, thank you for watching. Yep, ignore wife equal no mountain biking or gaming. That's right. Thank you. I will be back on, like I said, probably about an hour before we start the run. I will probably get up tomorrow morning bright and early, take my daughter to the bus, get her on the bus, come back to the house, boot up, adjust my filters, getting them nice and pretty. And then after I adjust my filters, then I'll be ready to go ahead and do what I need to do. But all in all, thank you very much. Thank you everybody for watching. And I hope this has helped you in your quest for ultimate power. Talk to y'all later. Peace out.